Before you scroll, pause for a second. Not because something bad will happen if you don't, but because maybe, just maybe, your heart has been looking for something steady in the middle of everything that feels uncertain. You've been moving fast lately, handling responsibilities, carrying conversations, meeting expectations, solving problems, showing up even when you didn't feel like it, and most people around you would probably say you're doing fine. But deep down, there's been a quiet question forming. Why do I still feel unsettled? You've prayed, you've tried to stay positive, you've tried to stay grateful, yet there's this subtle restlessness that doesn't fully go away. And tonight, I want to talk to that part of you. Not the strong version, not the public version, the real one. The one who sometimes lies awake at night thinking about the future, the one who replays past mistakes, the one who wonders if you missed something, or if something missed you. Here's the truth. God is not disappointed in your questions. He is not threatened by your doubts. He is not distant because you feel unsure. If anything, the very fact that you care enough to wrestle means your faith is alive. Faith isn't the absence of questions. It's choosing to stay even when you don't have all the answers. You've been in a season where things don't feel clear, decisions feel heavier, outcomes feel uncertain, and clarity feels delayed. But uncertainty does not mean abandonment. Sometimes clarity comes after trust, not before it. You want to see the whole staircase. God is asking you to take the next step. You want guarantees. God offers guidance, and guidance rarely shouts. It whispers, it nudges, it steadies, it invites. You've been trying to control outcomes lately, haven't you? Trying to calculate every possibility, trying to prevent disappointment, trying to secure your future before it arrives. But control is exhausting. It gives the illusion of safety while quietly draining your peace. You were never meant to carry tomorrow in your hands. You were meant to carry trust in your heart. And trust is lighter. You've also been harder on yourself than you realize. You compare, you critique, you replay, you second guess. You see other people moving forward and wonder if you're falling behind. But you're not behind. You're being built. There are foundations forming in you right now that will hold weight later. Strength is often invisible while it's forming. Roots grow underground long before branches reach the sky. And just because your growth isn't public doesn't mean it isn't powerful. There are prayers you prayed months ago that you've almost forgotten. Seeds you planted that you've stopped looking for. But growth takes time, and timing isn't punishment. It's wisdom. You don't see the whole picture, but God does, and He is not rushing your process. He is refining it. There have been moments where you felt misunderstood, like people only see part of you. They see your productivity, your competence, your humor, your composure. But they don't always see your vulnerability. The nights when your confidence feels fragile. The mornings when your motivation feels thin. The quiet fear that asks, "Am I enough?" Let this settle in your heart. You were never meant to earn your worth. You were created with it. Your value is not performance-based. It doesn't rise when you succeed. It doesn't fall when you struggle. It is steady, because it doesn't come from you. It comes from the one who made you. You've also experienced disappointment recently. Something you hoped would work out didn't. Something you believed in shifted, or stalled, or stopped, and you told yourself it was fine. But it still hurt. Disappointment isn't weakness. It means you invested your heart, and sometimes what feels like loss is actually protection in disguise. You don't always see what you were spared from. You only see what you didn't receive. But closed doors don't mean you're rejected. They sometimes mean you're redirected. And redirection is not failure. It's refinement. You've been in a quiet, stretching season. It doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't look impressive. But it feels intense. Because growth stretches comfort. Maturity stretches perspective. Faith stretches fear. You are learning patience. Even if you don't like it. You are learning discernment, even if it came through trial. You are learning resilience, even if it came through pressure. And pressure doesn't mean you're breaking. Sometimes it means you're becoming. You've also been fighting battles in your mind, thoughts that come out of nowhere, fears that feel convincing. What if? Scenarios that spiral quickly. But not every thought deserves authority. Just because a fear is loud doesn't make it true. You are allowed to challenge your thoughts. You are allowed to pause and ask, is this real or is this anxiety speaking? You are allowed to replace lies with truth. Truth like this: you are not alone in your uncertainty. You are not forgotten in your waiting. You are not weak because you struggle. Struggle is part of growth. Even the strongest trees bend in the wind. Even the most faithful people wrestle. Wrestling does not disqualify you. It deepens you. You've been craving peace, not temporary relief, not distraction, real peace. The kind that steadies your breathing, the kind that quiets overthinking, the kind that doesn't disappear when circumstances shift. But peace isn't found in perfect conditions. It's found in anchored trust. Peace grows when you decide that even if you don't understand the outcome, you trust the character of the one guiding it. And trust grows in daily surrender. Not dramatic surrender. Daily surrender. The kind where you wake up and say, God, lead me today. The kind where you release the need to know everything. The kind where you choose obedience over overthinking. You don't need to fix your entire life tonight. You don't need to have a 5-year plan. You don't need to have every answer. You need the next right step. And sometimes the next right step is rest. Rest without guilt. Rest without self-criticism. Rest without comparing. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to not have it all figured out. You are allowed to be in process. There's something powerful about realizing that you are not the architect of your entire destiny. You participate. You don't control. You plant. You don't force growth. You show up. You don't manufacture outcomes. And when you release that pressure, something shifts. Your shoulders relax. Your mind softens. Your heart steadies. You begin to live from trust instead of tension. There's also a new level ahead of you. You can sense it. You feel like you're outgrowing certain patterns, certain environments, certain mindsets. But growth feels uncomfortable at first, because you can't stay where you were and you haven't fully stepped into where you're going. That in-between space feels unstable. But it's sacred. It's the space where identity deepens, where faith matures, where confidence becomes internal instead of external. You are not who you were a year ago, and that's a good thing, even if it cost you comfort, even if it required letting go, even if it meant walking alone for a season. You are becoming someone stronger, someone more grounded, someone less reactive, someone more aware. And awareness changes everything. You are also learning that not everyone can go where you're going, and that realization is bittersweet, because growth sometimes creates distance. But distance isn't always division. Sometimes it's alignment. God will align you with the right people at the right time. People who match your depth, your direction, your values. Until then, don't rush connection out of loneliness. Loneliness is not proof of lack. Sometimes it's proof of transition. You are not stuck. You are shifting. And shifts require stillness. So tonight, instead of asking, when will everything make sense? Ask, what is the season teaching me? Instead of asking, why isn't it happening yet? Ask, what is being built in me right now? Perspective changes experience, and your perspective is maturing. You're becoming less reactive, less impulsive, less driven by emotion alone. You're learning to pause, and pause is powerful, because in pause, you hear God clearer. Not in chaos, not in panic, in stillness. You don't need a dramatic spiritual moment to grow. Growth often looks quiet, like choosing integrity when no one is watching, like speaking kindly when you're irritated, like trusting when you're unsure, like forgiving when it's hard. Those quiet decisions build a strong life, and you are building one. Even if no one applauds it yet, your breakthrough may not look like fireworks. It may look like stability. It may look like discipline. It may look like clarity. It may look like boundaries. Sometimes the greatest blessing is not acceleration, it's alignment. You don't need to move faster. You need to move wiser, and wisdom is forming in you. So if you felt uncertain, breathe. If you felt tired, rest. If you felt behind, release comparison. If you felt unseen, remember this: God sees in detail what others overlook. He sees your effort, your intention, your private victories. Nothing is wasted, not your tears, not your waiting, not your obedience, not your questions. Everything is shaping you. You are not failing. You are forming, and the version of you on the other side of this season will thank you for not giving up. Stay steady. Stay teachable. Stay open. You don't need to rush the process. You need to trust it. If this message spoke to you, comment below, "I'm growing through this." Let that be your declaration. And if you want more messages that ground your faith and strengthen your mindset, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We're building a space here for people who are choosing growth over fear, wisdom over impulse, and faith over anxiety. Share this with someone who needs reassurance today. And remember, you are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are becoming, and becoming takes time. But it is worth it.